Hey everybody, this is Steve with another episode of Keep 'em Rolling, and this is going to be another recent pickup video. Yesterday, which was Saturday, I had an opportunity to visit some local antique malls about an hour from my house. I was actually in the area on totally unrelated business, and time opened up, and I thought, I haven't been in these places in quite a while. I'll stop in and see what good military items they have to offer. And well, unfortunately, I'm sad to say that not a lot of militaria. I mean, these are big malls. We're talking 150 dealers each. And the first two I visited, I found absolutely nothing. Well, that's a lie. I found a few items, but the items I did find were often just really worn out and very expensive. So my question to all of you, in your area, what are your antique shops like? You don't have to give away any special places where you find things, but just overall, is it good pickings or is it just really slim pickings? So anyways, third shop I went to, and I did find a few things. So let's get right to it. I picked up a photograph. I happened to be flipping through a box, and I just caught a glimpse of that overseas cap there. I thought, I gotta look at this. Nice World War I doughboy. I love the overseas cap. That is just one of the ugliest caps I think the U.S. military has ever utilized, next to the forage cap from the Civil War. You've got the standard uniform, the wool M1917 uniform. I like the fact that he's reading a newspaper, but I also like the fact that this was taken on the 23 Rue in Saint Martin in Nevers, France. So this is a French photo. And I love finding these. You wonder, did this soldier take this and have it shipped back to family, to friends, or did he take this and bring it home himself? Who knows? But just a neat photo, and the price was right. It was, I think, originally $5, but then they were running a sale in the booth, so I think my ending price with tax was like $4.72 or something strange like that. So, like the content. Now, I also found a canteen set. And I've been looking for a canteen set to complete a web belt rig I'm putting together. And this one's just a nice, honest example. And doggone it, if these things aren't getting hard to find. Now, when I pulled this out of the shop, it was pretty dirty. I brought it home. I've done some cleaning on it. The lift dots were just in miserable condition. And I did, cleaning and some oiling to kind of bring them back to working condition. But a nice, honest cover. No staining. No heavy wear. Well, there's a little bit of staining, but no heavy wear, no tears. You got a faint US here on the front, and then on the back side, you have a nice date of 1940. It looks like 43. I've had it under some different lights, and that seems to be where I'm leaning, is 43. And then you have a nice canteen set. You've got the canteen, or as I've heard it called, the water bottle. This one's stamped on the bottom. I believe it's Volrath. It's hard to see. It's a very light stamp. You can kind of make out the U.S. there. But it's Volrath, and it's dated 1944. Another thing I like about this is it's complete with the cap, the chain, and it still has the original cork on the inside, which oftentimes is missing. It's dried out, fallen out. It's not a big deal, but it's nice to find it with the cork. What really sold me on this canteen, though, was the cup. Check this out. I love that lip. Apparently, the owner did not like the lip that was on here, so they had this custom crimped. Never seen one like that. And I love to see variants like that. The cup is complete. It's all there. It works. And let's see if I got that right side. No, should have kept it this way. It's got a nice date, U.S. MA Company, 1943. Still has some of the shininess left on it. But I love that variant. And the price was right. It was, I want to say it was $27 for that. And it came with a pistol belt. The pistol belt, it's in okay shape. It's not tatty or anything. It's got some staining. There's no date, but it's clearly wartime with all the brass fixtures on it and so forth. I have better examples, so this one will probably end up going into my trade box, etc., etc. But still, not a bad deal for, like, what did I say, 20? I think it was $27. Not a bad deal for the whole thing for $27. So, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, these darn things are just, seems like they're getting harder and harder to find. Now, the last item I picked up was probably my favorite. I've been looking for this item for quite a few years. It's not that I haven't found them, it's just every time I do see them at the military shows, they are really expensive. And, you know, you kind of look at it and you go, I really want to add it to my collection, but I just don't want to spend that money right now. I'll pick one up later. And they just seem to keep getting more and more expensive. Well, yesterday I found one, and what I found was the ubiquitous K ration. This is the U.S. Army Field Ration K dinner unit. You can see it's got the D on both sides. This one was packaged by the Cracker Jack Company of Chicago, Illinois. I love that. Now, that's just the empty box because I took out the sealed dinner unit. Wax covered, still closed up, still complete. I am so excited. I mean, this is holding a piece of true history. This is something that you always hear about, you always read about, and now I'm able to have one in my collection. I'm so excited. Now, just a little bit of history on this, and then a little bit of history about me finding it. History of the unit itself, the military had three variations. You had breakfast, you had dinner, and you had supper. Basically, dinner would be kind of your lunch unit, if you will. This is the earlier version. This is 1942-43. Later, they went to the more colorful boxes, but this is your true wartime K ration right here. Now, the contents of this, this would have had pasteurized American cheese in a can. It would have had K1 biscuits and K2 biscuits. It would have had malted milk tablets, lemon juice powder in a packet, pressed sugar tablets, 4 cigarettes, and chewing gum. Cigarettes and chewing gum would have been by various manufacturers from Chesterfield to Lucky Strike to Wrigley for the gum and so forth and so on. All of that goodness is still inside this box. And this is going to go onto my field desk display. So I've already got a place for it to go. Now, the story behind finding it, it was in a booth that I had visited before. And gosh, it was probably over a year ago. We were in this particular antique mall. My wife had come with me, and the booth is not a military booth. It's just a standard booth, and on the shelf was a breakfast unit, K ration breakfast unit. I was really excited, and I was ready to pull the trigger. I got the clerk, got it out of the case, looked at it, and unfortunately, there was a big insect hole in the wax box. Something had burrowed in, and the box had bloated on one side. And I'm like, you know, I don't want, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, what's in there? Is something still living in there? You know, I don't want to take that risk. So I was like, nope, I'm not going to buy it. And I was a little deflated because I was all ready to pull the trigger. Well, I visited the shop once more, and the breakfast unit was still there, hadn't sold. And then I visited it yesterday, and the breakfast unit's still there. But next to it, lo and behold, was the dinner unit. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I kicked myself because I should have had the clerk of the shop call. They actually called the owner of the booth to ask about the price. And I should have had him ask if they had any more. And I didn't think about it. So I may call them and just see if they can inquire about that. But, you know, the price that was on it was a lot less than I've seen these for at the show, and a lot less than I've seen these for on eBay. It still was not cheap, but you know, it was in that realm of, wow, okay, I can do this. And then I asked if they could do any better. They said, let me call the owner, and the owner came back and really dropped the price a lot more. In fact, it came down right around $40 more. So it was just like, wow, you know, this is definitely a doable thing, and I was quite pleased to be able to add one of these to my collection. So it goes to show that stuff is still out there, but for me, it's just shocking at how little is still out there. You really have to kind of shake the bushes and that to find the things. So please let me know in the comment section once again how it is in your area. If there's lots of stuff, if it's pretty Spartan, you know, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Is stuff just naturally drying up? Is that just the route that we're going? So, well, I will leave it on that. I appreciate all of you watching, and this is Steve with another episode of Keep 'em Rolling. In fact, I think I'll put a picture in here of where the dinner unit's sitting on the field desk, so you'll be able to see the picture right now. Okay, there was the picture. And once again, this is Steve reminding all of you to stay safe and keep them rolling.